Roughly speaking, there are 4 different distances we can engage at with a handgun. We have immediate contact at 0 to 6 feet, 10 to 20 feet, which is the most common gunfight distance, 20 to 60 feet, and 60 feet and beyond. Let's talk about each of these ranges. At 0 to 6 feet, we can simply shoot from the hip. We don't need an optic. We don't need a sight picture. A sight picture may only slow us down a fraction of a second, but that fraction of a second can mean the difference between life and death in gunfights, which typically only last 3 seconds total. At 0 to 6 feet, speed and movement off the X are the most important elements. Accuracy at this range, with a little training, is a given. 10 to 20 feet is where most gunfights happen, and these are the distances that green light sights are optimized for. Just place the big green box of our sight center mass on your adversary, and you'll make hits in the thoracic cavity out to about 20 feet. Why not shoot from the hip at 10 to 20 feet? It is faster, but without many, many hours of practice, we won't likely have the accuracy needed to make center mass hits, especially when both we and our adversary are moving. What about iron sights at 10 to 20 feet? This is a perfect iron sight picture, and when we're on the range, and we're not moving, and our target's not moving, and we have all the time in the world, we can get this alignment every time. But can we do it in a gunfight? And if we try, how much time will it take? Will it slow us down too much? If our adversary is moving, and when guns are drawn and bullets fly, most people will move, we'll have to track our target. If you're moving quickly and in a gunfight, I hope you are, you're likely to bob up and down with each step. So your sights will look like this. And with each shot fired, you'll have some recoil. Add these 3 motions together and you get something like this. Fortunately, at gunfight distances, we don't need the pinpoint accuracy of a perfect sight picture. We just need to make thoracic hits. So the question is, just how far out of alignment can our front sights be and still make thoracic hits at gunfight ranges, which are typically 10 to 20 feet? It will depend on the type of sights you use and the length of your barrel. But for my Glock 26, at 10 feet, as long as the front sight is within this circle, I'll make hits in the thoracic cavity. However, while gunfights typically start at 10 feet, they tend to spiral out to 20 feet. At 20 feet, the circle of accuracy for a Glock 26 is smaller. It looks like this. Now, what happens if the front sight goes downwards? It disappears below the slide. Another possibility is that it hides behind the rear posts. This is a lot to think about during a gunfight. With iron sights, we have to keep the front sight within a small circle, while remembering that if it disappears, it may be below the slide or behind a rear post. We have to do this while we're moving, while our adversary is moving, and bullets are coming at us, all in the 3 seconds it takes the average gunfight to start and finish. This is why, regardless of training, many people revert to point shooting during the movement, chaos, and stress of a real gunfight. The brain very quickly realizes that unless we move, we're going to get shot. And if we wait for a perfect sight picture before pulling the trigger, the gunfight will be over before we fired a single shot. What about red dot holographic sights? The issue is that once a red dot or holographic sight leaves the optic window, it disappears. There's no visual indication of which way we need to adjust to recover the image. Reacquiring these sights may only take 1 second, but that's how long it will take an adversary to fire 4 shots at us. I think of handgun optics as gears on a stick-shift car in a drag race. At the 10 to 20 foot distance of most gunfights, we want explosive speed and center mass hits. If we can make 2 incapacitating shots into our adversary's thoracic cavity before they even get a sight picture on us, that gives us the best odds of not getting shot. Green light sights are fast and accurate. At under 5 grams, they weigh less than a single 9mm bullet and being flush with the slide, they won't add any bulk. In the drag car analogy, green light sights are first gear. If the distance to your adversary moves out past 20 feet, or you have a dedicated adversary that won't stop shooting, either because they're wearing body armor, or are on drugs, or are just tough as nails, consider shifting to iron sights and aim for the head. Iron sights are second gear. If you have to make very accurate shots, or the distance has moved out past 60 feet, consider shifting to your red dot holographic sights. Red dot and holographic sights are third gear. While Force on Force has shown that going directly to holographic red dot sights will slow down even the most highly trained shooters, key fractions of a second at distances below 60 feet, if you start with green light sights as first gear, your gun will be very close to the near-perfect alignment you need for holographic red dot sights. This allows you to transition from green light sights to the holographic red dot sights without much loss of speed, meaning you can jump from first to third gear. This is something, however, you want to practice. Whether you like iron sights, red dot, holographics, or both, adding a green light sight to the back of your slide can help you die less often.